Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining the Tuesday night Illinois Freedom Caucus live stream, round table, and town hall. And guys, we want to just kind of give you a recap of what happened last week in veto session. And I am joined by Representatives Chris Miller and Representative Adam Niemerg and Representative Dan Calkins. Let's just go around the table real quick. Let's go Niemerg, Calkins, and Miller with a quick introduction and welcome.
Thanks, Brad. Adam Niemerg, 102nd District, Southeast Effingham County. Thanks for being on, folks.
Good evening, everybody. Dan Calkins, 88th House District here out of Decatur to Bloomington. Great to be with you all this evening. Trick or treat, Brad. It's Halloween night. If anybody appears behind my back, somebody please let me know.
Exactly. Yeah. And leader chairman Chris Miller of the Freedom Caucus.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that introduction there, Representative Hallbrook. It's great to be here this evening, and it's fitting that it's trick or treat. I think there's a lot more tricks than treats going on right now. We did have our first really killing frost of the year, so all of my cows are really happy that the flies died last night, so they quit torturing them. But anyway, we had a lot of important topics to talk about this evening, and thank you for joining us.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are live and in demand, and we just hopefully that you will enjoy the next few moments. And with that, we are going to get the slide set opened up for a little commentary, and this is our weekly recap of the things that were. Not as we wish that they were, but as they actually were. So, guys, what did the House really do last week in veto session? And we'll just open it up. You guys kind of have at it here. What really happened last week?
Well, I think it would be a longer discussion if we talked about what didn't happen.
Right.
We spent 2 days. Fortunately, we didn't go back Thursday to do nothing. So I guess we can take a victory lap that we didn't cost the taxpayers another couple $100,000 hanging out doing nothing on Thursday. But I think one of the biggest takeaways for me for last week in the veto session was the disarray that the Democrat caucus is in. They couldn't even get their act together to have a short memorial for the 6-year-old boy who was stabbed to death and his mom was brutally attacked because of their Palestinian background. And they were in such disarray that they couldn't even come on the House floor and express our sympathies and real we couldn't even honor that young man in his memory because Democrats refused to. They couldn't even get organized. I mean, they were just in total disarray. Fortunately, I think our side of the aisle and Brad, I know you had a resolution. We condemned Hamas for their terrorist attack on Israel. And the Democrats couldn't even bring themselves to do that. So I think that was my biggest takeaway from last week.
Yeah. Adam, any thoughts?
Well, there were a lot of issues that we did not take up last week. Hopefully next week we're able to actually have a discussion on them. One is the Invest in Kids. We did see a watered down bill that came out last week. Have some serious concerns with it. I think we should keep the program as it is, extend it, and if anything, add more to it. So it's a situation where the program works, yet the special interest groups, the powerful special interest groups, do not want the program, and now we have a watered down version of it. So I think that we're all pushing for a better version of that. Also, the lifting on moratoriums for nuke plants, that was not discussed. Also, the airman lines when it comes to supplying energy for the MISO grid. So, yes, the Democrats, I do completely agree with Dan. They're in complete disarray. But hopefully next week we can push them and try to get something productive. And that Invest in Kids is number one for me in veto session.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Chris, it seemed like the Senate was in for 3 days. They got a little bit more done, pushed a few more bills out. But, we did see action on Wednesday on the House Democrat side wants to unionize the legislative staff. What could possibly go wrong with that? That gets
Oh,
real concerned.
it's just another bright light shining on the incompetency of the radical Democrat Party that leads, that's destroying the state of Illinois in real time. The last thing that we need is another union that is funded by tax dollars, because it won't be long till we have a strike, we have an increased wage, all of that. The only thing that might come out of this is they might refuse to be on the job at 3 a.m. when really all the really, really bad stuff happens. So I
Well,
guess the time will tell, and we'll see.
we've had some late nights and long hours in the past, but over the last 2.5 years, it's dramatically got worse. We often comment about, session usually would maybe in the past start 20, 30 minutes late, but it's nothing to be at least 30 minutes to an hour late. They may break the caucus 3-4 hours. If we have a noon schedule time, it may be 5 o'clock before we get back to the floor to actually do anything sort of substantive. And like you say, nothing really happens until midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m. So I think the staff on their side's getting kind of tired of it. They see this as a fix. I'm not really sure, but anyhow. So what did the Democrats refuse to address in veto? We talked a little bit, Adam, you talked a little bit about invest in kids. We heard a little bit about the nuclear energy ban, or the lift on the moratorium on the construction. And then we'll touch on illegal immigrant spending. Guys, any other comments on the first two, and then we can touch on the illegal immigration stuff?
Well, I think I think that it's a travesty that we aren't addressing our energy needs. I mean, this whole green energy complex is based on a scam. If you read the WirePoint numbers out today, we're still we're still overwhelmingly producing energy with fossil fuels. Typically, on any given day, wind and solar is less than 10% of our energy needs, and it's really unfortunate. I know that they came out with some data to just put things in reality that or in perspective that we can understand, and they have done the math on the equivalent as far as charging an electric car versus buying a gallon of gas. And they came up with the number of $17 a gallon. That would be the equivalent comparing gas to charging your EV. And also the automakers are losing approximately $36,000 per EV that rolls off the assembly line. And as you all know, that this is completely unsustainable. It's built on a house of cards. All these things are going to get thrown in the trash over time. And it's time for the American people and the people in Illinois to wake up and understand the boondoggle that they've been forced to try to intimidate them into believing.
Right, exactly. We saw lots of headlines in the last couple of weeks from GM and Ford execs and even Toyota execs kind of weighing in on pausing or delaying plans to ramp up electrical vehicle production. So things are changing, I think, dramatically. Also, there's a desire by the wind companies. They're running short of cash. And so there may be an effort in DC to try to get more cash to prop up the failing wind industry. So, hey, Dan, nuclear, that's a big deal. You've got a big nuclear plant there in your district in the 88th, north of Decatur. You're pretty knowledgeable about the nuclear stuff. What would this bill have done if we would have been able to get this moratorium removed on construction?
Well, the short answer to that is it would have opened Illinois up for future development of these small nuclear generators. It's that as the technology is improved, and we've spent billions and billions of dollars in this country to refine nuclear generation. Illinois has shut the door on that whole industry by saying, no, we're not interested. We're not going to allow any future development of these modern nuclear power plants. And this isn't a next year fix or even a 3 or 5 year fix. I mean, this industry is these small nuclear generators are experimental at this point. It's a growing field. The University of Illinois is pressing forward in their engineering classes to bring along new engineers that want to get involved in this field, but they won't be able to work in Illinois, obviously, because the Democrats, Governor Pritzker particularly, have bowed down to this radical green idea that nuclear energy is not good, when we all know it's the cleanest form of electric generation, power generation that we have. There's no residue discharged into the air. We've never had a problem with spent fuel from our reactors, and this new industry has a lot of promise to regionalize power generation, and I believe we'll see it again in the spring. Larry Walsh is a big proponent of this, and and our two energy committees, we've agreed that this needs to be done. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Adam, you talked earlier about the Invest in Kids. I don't know if you want to comment any further on that or on the illegal immigration coming into the state of Illinois before we move to our next slide. But any thoughts you might have on either one or both of those subjects?
Yeah, absolutely. The Invest in Kids. What I'd ask everybody to do is call your local state representative, your local state senator, and ask them to push a bill that's actually going to extend this program as is, or actually add future benefits to this program, because it works. And anything that works in the state of Illinois, powerful special interest groups, they don't like that, especially the education unions. They see a school choice program, and this school choice program helps inner city kids throughout the entire state of Illinois, kids that do need help being placed in proper schools. So this is a very, very, very productive program. So we need to see this expanded, and at the very least, see this program as a status quo moving forward. But the bill that was introduced is not good enough.
Yeah.
When it comes to the migrant crisis, the illegal aliens, coming across the border, ICE just recently said that it was 5.7 million. That's over almost half the state of Illinois. We have $1.1 billion in healthcare that through this last budget that we're funding for illegal immigrants here in the state of Illinois. We have no idea what the transportation costs are. We have no idea what the housing costs are. Yet the Biden administration asked for anybody to be evacuated out of Israel to sign an agreement saying that they would pay back the airline ticket. Well, if they came across the southern border, they'd have free housing, free phone, free everything. So we need to change the way we're doing business, not only in the state of Illinois, but in this country.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and just one closing thought on this healthcare that was originally, like you mentioned, was estimated to be $1.2 billion. That 4 years ago was a $2 million cost. They changed some stuff around before the budget was passed. They actually put $550 million in the budget. But I believe DHS just a week and a half ago on their website reported that the estimate for this fiscal year for this healthcare program is $831 million. So it's $280 million over what's in the budget. So you take all the costs, the city of Chicago, the housing, the transportation, the food, the care. This is fast moving from tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. And, the governor's response and the Mayor Brandon Johnson's response is to go to the White House and ask for more money, when, Chris, what's the real answer is shut the border down.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let's go to the next slide. And I think this is about Representative Freeze has got an event in his district coming up right away. November 2nd. That's Thursday night.
Yep. Wow. Is it okay if we send him a check?
I guess it is. Yeah, probably be fine. And so
Okay.
you can read the details there. And with that, here's our last slide. This is where you find us, and the IllinoisFreedomCaucus.org, and donate button there. Just freedomcaucus.org/donate. Help us to continue this cause across the state and across the nation. Gentlemen, any closing thoughts? Maybe we can go in reverse. We can go Miller, Calkins, and then Adam, and then we'll close out for the evening.
No, we're really happy that we have the opportunity to give a voice to the voiceless. I know that the grassroots are where it's happening here in the state of Illinois, and don't lose heart. We got to keep hammering. We got to keep doing the right thing the right way with a great attitude. And I know that the Illinois Freedom Caucus is here to serve you. Please let us know if there's anything that we can do, any place we can go. Any message that you want to resonate out of here, we're happy to serve you that way, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Leader Chairman Miller. Dan Calkins.
Thank you. Yeah, we need to get Chris an embroidered shirt there. I think it says chairman on it.
Thank you very much. And also a wrap. I need a wrap on my truck.
Oh, a wrap. Yeah, chairman. That'll be good. Oh, thanks very much. And I want to thank Colin for helping put this together today. This is an opportunity for those of you out there that are watching. We're fighting every day for you. This is not an easy task, but something that we've all vowed and promised to do. We're working for you. DCFS. Illinois State Police, it doesn't matter. IDOT, I know, Brad, you guys and Adam are in a wrestling match with IDOT over some of the problems that are happening in your districts. But, really appreciate the support that we've gotten, and we look forward to seeing you all back in Springfield next week. Yeah. It'll wrap up Veto.
Yeah. Adam.
Folks, thanks for tuning in with us here this evening. Again, call your local state reps, call your local senators, ask them to support Invest in Kids, co-sponsor bills that will do this, have them be vocal about this. If there's anything that they can push other reps on, have them push other reps. Don't just settle for, hey, you're going to support it. And they say, yeah. And then that's all they do. We need to push this issue. So we'll be back next week to do just that. Thank you.
Exactly. Gentlemen, I forgot to mention too, there's a hearing Thursday morning on the gun ban in the Stratton building, D1 at 9:30. Illinois State Police has been asked. I think this is one of 3 events that they're going to do across the state. But the first one is in D1 in the Stratton building. That's just a kind of a small committee hearing room. And on any given day, when there's a committee hearing there, it can be fairly packed out. So I can't imagine with a subject of this magnitude what that's going to be like up there. I just think that room was going to be overfilled. And I don't know. I've not seen yet. There may be a live stream link where people could watch it from afar, but I've not seen that. I don't know if any of you gentlemen have seen or heard about that. But Thursday morning, 9:30, Springfield Stratton building for the Illinois State Police hearing on the gun ban.
Yeah. So we asked that be moved to a larger room, to someplace with got more capacity. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, even if they moved it to 114 or 118, we got that big hearing room. I know the Senate's got some bigger rooms, but that hearing room in the Stratton is totally it's way too small, and people are going to get the idea that the Illinois State Police, that the governor is trying to throttle people from coming and talking about the problems with this complying with this unlawful, unconstitutional bill.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Gentlemen and ladies out there in Cyberland, as always, we appreciate that you like and share and follow and subscribe to our content as we try to overcome the algorithmic gods of the big tech overlords. And so with that, guys, we're going to close out this evening. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you soon.